Yo, today's game is Assault Spy, developed by 괡ᴏ and published by NIS. Assault Spy is a beat-em-up, or it's a spectacle fighter, or a character action game. Or if none of those ring your bell, it's a complex conflict implementation engine. Basically, these games got combat with so many options that calling them hack and slash or beat 'em up is, I guess it's racist or something. Why is this an argument? It's simple, it's because arguing is fun. And if you don't think so, you've never been right, when every other living soul is dumb and wrong. My God, the feeling. Anyway, you could also just say, oh, it's Devil May Cry, and nobody's gonna misspell words at you. Mostly because this is one of those times when your snap judgment is 100% correct. This has a lot of Devil May Cry in it. Look, there's prop or shredder, there's tricks or teleport, there's enemy step, there's Looney Tunes. There is a lot of homage in here. Your snap judgment will also tell you, accurately, that it's budget. Budget but spelled with a J, to avoid paying for a silent letter. It's a game with interstitial movements that have all the natural grace of a crystallized Muppet, non-existent textures, optimization that sometimes forgets, and cutscenes which tell us things are happening even though they're entirely static portraits. Somehow still a more finished experience than Street Fighter V though, and I fucking love it. Pretty simple setup, let me walk you through it. We got Asaru, who is probably named that less because of a Japanese surname and more because it sounds like assault. If you say it like someone from a very specific part of the Pacific Rim. He's a demigod of sorts. His powers are numerous. He's got a briefcase, dress attire, a small child, routine personal implements, a poorly weighted walking animation. And if this doesn't sound like the tool set of a 6th dimension black belt in Judai, it's probably because you finish the things you start doing, like some kind of slow-mo nerd. Almost anything can be cancelled with dash, and nearly anything that can't can be cancelled by something else. It doesn't take careful input to turn our slouching sack boy here into a blur that moves faster than the human refresh rate. This kid tap dances holes into the damn visible spectrum. But you know what would be even better? If he could stop time. And if the soundtrack made it feel like there was always a guitar solo going. Balance. What is balance? If you wanted balance, you should have stayed home and gone to school to be a seesaw. This is Assault Spy. Also, there's another character and she's an American Super Saiyan version of Captain Commando. There's just dodges and just movements out the ass. The girl has a parry that lets you parry the world, and the rating system is a bunch of business synergy stuff. Gotta say, I'm not too familiar with this one though. Well, easy fix. Okay, well, the answer isn't gonna be here. Well, maybe. Wait, no, I was trying to answer a question. And the question was, how can't I love this? How? I'm seriously asking. Okay, sorry, I'm losing my composure. The plot. There is a plot. That concludes the plot segment of this video. This game is for my people. If I summarize the plot of a game, that's me putting on my Clark Kent costume and pretending to be you. Nah, no plots today. Today it's only things that are truly, essentially, universally important. You know, like the stuff that I like. I get the feeling this dude is a big fan of this genre because he took a serious swipe at some little things that these types of games could use. First thing I noticed, stage involvement. It's real common for these games to end up a series of empty rooms. Which, you know, fair enough. If you're gonna fight on the ceiling, you don't really need to spend a lot of time on the floor plan. But this game has actual layouts and reason to pay attention to them. The office landscape, you know, cubicle farms with pointless glass barricades, beautiful orchards of gaming rigs, are not just here to establish a setting. They're tactically significant. If you pay attention to cover, you can use it to manage the amount of angles that ranged enemies can get on you. I'm sure most of y'all already know, but one of the big things developers have to consider in a game like this is giving the player some way to handle being attacked from off screen. One strat is, just have enemies only start an attack when the camera faces them, but giving the player the option to line of sight is interesting too. It's not just cover layouts either. Every arena has involvement of the environment to some degree. There's mines, there's lasers, there's pitfalls. For a lot of people, stage involvements in these games it's a nice to have, not a need, so to see it fleshed out is really nice. There's a giant variety of moves, the freedom of movement gives you a lot of fun options, especially for getting around guarding enemies and using the environment to your advantage. Instant character swapping is tight and it needs to be more common in this genre. I mean, we got weapon swapping, style swapping, One time somebody even swapped developers. Why not more character swap? Sadly, nothing is perfect, not even something made by one person with a budget of $0. So while it did make me feel happy for the first time in 2 months, I do have to say, there's some jank in here. There's a dedicated move to traverse the terrain and it works, I'm going to say 14% of the time. I'm not going to verify that percentage, but I am going to say it because the tutorial to teach me how to use this move parked me on a hallway speed bump. Also, I don't know what cultural significance these got in the Japanese workplace. I'd be curious to know. The lock-on system is either broken or it is an offense to common decency deserving of a public apology. Let me show you. We'll walk up to this guy that's going to spawn. We'll make sure he's the only one on the screen. And then when I press lock-on, oh right, I forgot. There's going to be a guy over there. That's the one I meant to target. Target swapping is a critical function. Except in this game, where target swapping's main function is actually to make baby Jesus weep holy warm tears. I'd say the dodge timing is a little lenient. I think maybe being able to trigger a just dodge all the way through this animation is a little much. I'll give it to you on a spectrum, right? Something I know a lot about. If it goes from somebody who plays specifically this type of game a lot to somebody who ain't never seen a game in their whole life, is that last one right there. That's the one. Go track down your grandma, put a controller in her hands, she'll nail a just dodge right there. And you'll be like, this was supposed to be my thing. I have some beef with the price. I have a tough time recommending a game with this level of polish for $30 reduce. I mean, it almost looks like something I'd expect to see in VR chat, or like some MDM stuff, That's what it reminds me of. But probably the price point is due to the publisher's cut, since I think this is a one-man team, so I imagine the publisher had to do a lot of the logistics of getting voice work and artwork. Localization is pretty good. I say the localization is pretty good because at one point the psychic character refers to Asaru as Asaru. As friendly nicknames go, that's pretty good. I spent an hour looking for the footage of this, but I couldn't find it. You can believe me that this happened because if I was imagining things, they would be stupider. Matter of fact, don't even listen to me. I'm trying to list some negatives to hide my bias like I'm not a fan. I'm a fan. If your game lets you run almost faster than the camera, I'm a fan. If your game has an accurately modeled American citizen, I'm a fan. If your game lets me fight my way up the corporate ladder, but only so I can suplex the president off it, I'm a fan. If I were going to guess what this needs next, I would say maybe fewer cancels, probably some moves that you have to channel to use effectively, as a mix to the approach of combat. I mean, as it is, being able to cancel anything forever makes it kind of busted. But you know what? I like this genre a lot, and I bet you that it's still niche because of people thinking about it too hard like I just did. Most people don't want to try that hard. They just want to hit stuff and look cool doing it. Take anything just a little bit more complicated from one of these games, like, for example, dodge offset. John Doe video game does not want that trouble, brah. I know this because I was explaining that about the system to a friend who had beaten Bayonetta, and he said, what's dodge offset? And you know what? They're right. If every Musou game had combat like this, I'd play them all. Dynasty Warriors 18, I'm in there, let's go. I'll suddenly have an opinion on Chinese history. Bottom line, who is this for? This game is for somebody who's played a fair amount of action games already to completion. They're looking for anything in the vein. Maybe somebody who likes it a little bit more involved. Somebody who maybe they tried some other stuff and they didn't find it as It's for me. This game is for me, all right? You can't have it. You won't enjoy it right. I'm gonna buy the next one, day one, full price. And you know what? You can't stop me. That's it for this time. I'd like to extend my thanks to Michael for making this video about 600% better. By the rocket's red glare. And keep it locked here because who knows when the next one will be, or even if it will be. Shit, timestamp this. This might be the audio log you find on my corpse with like a used comb and a bronze longsword.